Hi, everybody. Welcome. Just going to wait a couple of minutes for more people to join us. It's at 11 o'clock here in Southern California, Pacific Standard Time. And I don't know where everybody is at, but I hope you're able to join here. Hello, Anna. Welcome. Welcome to this Facebook Live here on body dysmorphia disease. Let's talk and support one another. So let's begin. So do you wake up in the morning dreading to look at yourself in the mirror and not liking what you see? I know, I've been there. I used to wake up every morning and get on the scale, and depending on what the number said, it would set the trajectory for my day. If the number was a number I liked, I was happy all day. But if it wasn't a number that I liked, then my day was miserable. I would start obsessing about how I looked and constantly check myself out in the mirror. I would constantly rip off my clothes during the day just to get on the scale, hoping that number would change, and then get dressed again. You see how crazy this can be? When I would start obsessing about myself, then I would start comparing myself to other people. I would compare myself to other women in the street and in the supermarket. I would compare myself to the women on television and in the magazines and now social media. I dreaded looking at myself. And I thought that I wasn't good enough and I wasn't perfect enough. But you see, I have overcome this body dysmorphia disease and even an eating disorder that I've had. When I say overcome, I've learned to manage the obsession. I've learned to manage the negative thoughts and the negative emotions that I felt. You see, because body dysmorphia, like alcoholism, is something that is a chronic problem. It can last a lifetime, but with the tools and tips that you can learn to manage it, you can live a healthy, fulfilling life. Hi, I'm Susie Grusin, and I'm a woman who suffered with BDD and an eating disorder for over 30 years. And I've learned tools and techniques that I'd like to share with you to help you overcome your disease. Now, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist, and I'm not even a behavioral therapist, but I am a woman who deeply understands what you are going through, because I've been there. But let me tell you one thing about having this disease. It has taught me so much about myself. I am grateful as I look back that I was able to learn about myself, who I am, what I like and what I don't like, what I'm willing to put up with and what I'm not willing to put up with. I was able to determine and learn that I have value. I have self-worth. I am a good person and I have a lot to give in this world. Without having this disease and without having this awareness, I don't know where I would have been. Maybe I would have become conceited. Maybe my head would have grown too big. And maybe, who knows, I may have become a person that I actually did not like. So I thank the disease for teaching me about myself, because I really had to dig deep to learn about myself. So I'm going to come on here once a week and share with you the tools and techniques that I have used to help me overcome the diseases that I've experienced. Some of these techniques and tools may resonate with some of you. Other tools and techniques may resonate with some others. But I hope you take the tools that I'm able to share with you and practice them and see if they work for you. So what I'm going to talk about here today is body neutrality. What is body neutrality and how we can use it to lessen the hold that this disease has on us? So for many people, the thought of loving your body after hating it for so long is pretty difficult. Yet the truth that either extreme, hating your body or loving your body, can feel out of reach and can actually be harmful to your body image. Body neutrality is an alternative. It's a more realistic approach to body image. Body neutrality is actually having a neutral attitude about your body or your face, because a lot of us here don't like certain parts of our face. So it's actually coming down the center, not hating your body, not loving your body. It's easier to move towards the center. It's about respecting and honoring ourselves as people, respecting our body, respecting our face, and not giving it too much headspace for either the positive or the negative. And its purpose is actually to reduce the focus on your body or that perceived flaw that we may have. So how do we practice neutrality, body neutrality? This is what I have done. So step one, ask yourself at various points throughout the day, what is it that my body needs? Could it be that it needs some nourishment, some food? Could it be that you need some water or some other liquid, some juice? Could it be that you actually need to move your body, a little bit of exercise, taking a walk, doing some stretching? Or perhaps you actually need to rest. It's honoring our needs and acting accordingly. So the question is not about what you feel you should do, but it's about really what you need to do and taking care of yourself. It's about what your needs are. Body neutrality is actually freeing yourself from the obsession about your body or that perceived flaw that you feel you have in your face or your body. Here's the big thing. It's about becoming aware. It's really about awareness. We need to be aware of what we're thinking, what we're actually doing. Because let's face it, we've been in this struggle for a while, and you're repeating what you're doing. Body checking, weighing yourself, talking negative to yourself. Eventually, by repeating these things, it becomes habit. That's what a habit is, something we practice over and over and over again. So it's about using our mind to make proper decisions, intelligent decisions, proper discernment, and about distinctions. When we start to do something different over and over again, we can break the bad habit that we have created. Now, I know that a lot of you have also been diagnosed with other diseases. Perhaps you have deep depression. Perhaps you have bipolar disease. And I understand those are very difficult to overcome. But we need to start somewhere, and possibly starting with recognizing and having the awareness of what we're doing. Here's one thing that I have done. One of the things that I have done is to recognize and have discernment that my body is an instrument. It's an instrument that we use to get around in the world. It's an instrument that we use to accomplish our goals in the world. Now, one of the things that I hated about myself were my legs. I picked at my legs ever since I was a teenager, because somewhere in my childhood and in my teenage years, somebody said a negative comment about my legs. And I took it as truth. Because you see, as children, we're easy to mold. As children, we take everything that our primary caregivers or our environment or the people around us say as truth, because we don't know any better. As children, we don't know how to use our discernment. So we have taken what our parents may have said, or somebody who was very important to us, perhaps a teacher, as truth. And that's part of the problem with body dysmorphia, because those comments stick with us as children, and we live our lives through these negative comments. It's put upon us as children. So we need to break that mold. So as I was saying, I hated my legs. But then I started to use this tool. I started to recognize what my legs can do for me. My legs take me from point A to point B. My legs are strong. They do wonderful things for me. Some of us may not like our stomach, but if you can turn it around and recognize that my stomach digests my food and gives me nourishment, and this nourishment feeds me, keeps me strong, keeps me healthy. Some of us may not like our arms, but our arms are used to hug the people we love. Our arms are used to carry those little babies that we have and to hug them. We may not like our nose, but our nose can smell beautiful scents, perfume, cologne, the smell of a rose, the fragrance of a rose, or some wonderfully cooked meal that maybe somebody that we love has made for us, and it brings back wonderful memories. Perhaps we don't like our eyes, but our eyes can see the beauty in the world, the stars at night, the ocean, the mountains. Maybe turning this around and recognizing what our body and what our facial features do for us can help us slowly move away from the obsession of the flaws that we may have. You see, without having awareness, we cannot transform and heal. We need to be aware of what we're doing, what we're thinking, so we can actually make those changes. View our body as a well-oiled machine, and that it helps us go about doing our day-to-day business. Your job is to actually keep it functioning well with regular nourishment, food, water, exercise, and actually taking some breaks, as I mentioned earlier, and resting. You see, your body hears everything that it says, just like your mind. Your body reacts according to what you say. So if you say something positive things, even if it's body acceptance, accepting that, okay, this is what my body may look like, but the wonderful things it does for me. Your body expands. Your body opens up, it relaxes, and it functions optimally. But when you start putting yourself down and putting down your body parts and saying what you hate about it, your body actually tightens, it constricts, and it compresses. I don't know if you've noticed this, but what has happened with me is that when I was talking negative about my body all the time, I was having all kinds of physical ailments. I was having heart palpitations, headaches that would turn into migraines, digestive issues, becoming constipated. It was very difficult for my body to function optimally. But when you allow yourself to accept what your body does for you, that's a form of saying positive things about your body. Your body is able to have the flow of energy happen in your body better, and your body will function better. So your mind, just like your mind, it doesn't know what you're saying if it's real or perceived. It's just going to act accordingly. So if you can try to be appreciative of what your body does, test it out. See what it does. Here's another thing, another tip. Instead of focusing on what your body looks like and comparing your body or your face to somebody else's, focus on your overall life. What is it that you want to accomplish in your life? What are the goals that you want to achieve? Become aware of what your true passions are. What are you here to do on this planet? What do you want to do? Do you want to take a class and learn something new? Because let's face it, it takes a lot of energy and headspace when we're always obsessing about what we look like. Try to free up that mind and put your focus on something that's really important in your life. So when you free up the headspace, then you have room to focus on something else. Focusing on what do you want to create in your life? Is it that you want to create a happy relationship, a better career? Do you want to have a marriage? Do you want to have children? What is it that you want to create? And start to focus on that. When you put your focus on something else, you don't have time to obsess about what you're looking like. So I'm a very spiritual person. Spirituality is not about religion. It's not about just meditating and using affirmations. Yes, that's part of it. But spirituality is really becoming aware of what we're doing and to become a better person. So I have this prayer affirmation that I have used that has been extremely helpful for me. It is help me take the focus off of my body and the flaws that I perceive that I've had. This prayer is about recognizing that we are not our bodies. We are not our emotions. We are not even our thoughts. We are a soul, a spirit, our true nature that is not bombarded by all the things that were put upon us by living on earth, by our primary caregivers and our environment and the people around us, social media, all the hate that we see in the world today. We are truly a spiritual being. This spiritual being comes into our body, and as I mentioned earlier, uses our body as a vehicle to be able to accomplish our goals and learn our lessons. There's a purpose for this body. Our thoughts, or it's not who we are. Actually, we create our thoughts. You may say, well, no, these are just thoughts that come into my head. But actually, we are creating them either consciously or subconsciously. The same thing with our emotions. We are able to use our emotions to serve us, not to be afraid of them. You see, our emotions actually only last 1.5 minutes. The only reason they last longer is because we either feed them through obsessing or spending a lot of time deflecting them. We need to learn to accept that they are present and just let them pass. It involves a lot of learning because we're wired for fight or flight, but that's okay. That's not a problem. We can learn to use them to serve us. So now that we know that we are not our bodies, we're not our emotions, or even our mind or our thoughts, and that we create these things, we can step back and take a look at them from a distance. You can step back and say, oh, I am having this negative thought, and just observe at this point, just observe. Oh, I'm having this negative emotion. Just observe. You don't need to do anything with it right now, but be aware. So let's try this experiment, okay? So let's create a thought. Think of an apple. Now think of a desk. Think of your car. Think of the ocean. See, you are creating your thoughts. This is what we do. We create our thoughts. It's the same thing with our emotions. Can you feel anger in this moment? You know what it feels like to have anger. Feel anger. Now feel relief. Relief from that anger. See, we create our emotions and our thoughts. Just like the carpenter will create a table. The carpenter will build a table. He will create the table. He's not that table. He's the carpenter. We are not our emotions. We are not our thoughts. We're not our mind. We are our soul, using our body, our emotions and thoughts to function in this world. So when you're feeling an intense emotion, or you have that racing monkey mind, again, try to step back, be aware, and say, stop, take a deep breath, and pretend you're watching the movie of someone else. And recognize, I'm having a negative thought, I'm having a negative emotion. Oh, this is what we can do daily to start with this. Recognize that maybe you're eating a cookie. Each morning, recognize that you're brushing your teeth. Oh, I am taking a shower. It's to help you to become aware of what you're doing throughout the day. That's a good place to start, and that's what I did to become more aware. I know this may not be easy to do, but it can be done. If you practice this on a daily basis, you're starting to create a new habit. Creating a new habit will get you to stop focusing so much on yourself and on your negative perceived flaws that you may have. So I mentioned earlier that I have this prayer affirmation that I have used daily. Within 3 months, I started to notice a shift in my perception. I noticed that I wasn't as obsessed with my negative flaw. I noticed that maybe I wasn't body checking as much. It may be a process, because everything we are learning is a process, but it's very helpful. So I would like to go through this prayer with you and see how it feels for you to do. I've done this daily. Now we're going to talk about in this prayer the I am. The I am is referring to our soul, our true nature. It's also going to mention the higher soul. When we come into our bodies at birth, part of our soul comes in to our bodies, and part of our soul stays outside of our bodies, above, at the top of our head, several feet above our head. The higher soul is our all-knowing self, and it guides us in this lifetime. So when it talks about the higher self, it's referring to the part of our soul that remains above us to help guide us in this life, the all-knowing part, the intelligent part, because we are all-knowing, all-intelligent, and actually all love. So let's go through this prayer together, and what I would like you to do is put your hands in prayer position and take your thumbs and put them at the center of your chest, touching your chest, okay? So let's do this. I'd like you to close your eyes. And now take a deep breath in and exhale. Now take another deep breath in and exhale. And take another deep breath in and exhale. Keep your eyes closed and silently repeat this affirmation prayer after me. I am the soul affirmation. I am that I am. I am not the body. I am not the emotion. I am not the thought. The mind is only a subtle instrument of the soul. I am not the mind. I am the soul. I am a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, and divine power. I am one with my higher soul. I am that I am. I am one with the divine spark within me. I am a child of God. I am connected with God. I am one with God, and I am one with all. This is the truth, regardless of the capacity of the brain to experience the truth. I am that I am. Now, I'd like you to put your awareness at the top of your head, now 3 inches above your head. And I would like you to visualize yourself inside a violet flame. Put yourself inside that violet flame and take a deep breath in and exhale. And allow that violet flame cleanse you of any negative thoughts, negative emotions. Let it flush out and be aware. Just let the violet flame cleanse. Be still and be aware. Now take a deep breath in and exhale. Another deep breath in and exhale. And now put your attention back to your body. And you may open your eyes. Okay. I hope that felt good. How did that feel? So I've used this prayer affirmation every day, as I mentioned earlier. And it's been very helpful for me to be able to detach from those negative emotions and negative thoughts that I feel about myself. What I think is really great for you to do is put on Post-its and put it around different places in your house. Write on the Post-it, I am not the body, I am not the emotions, I am not the thought, I am not the mind. It'll remind you that we are much more than our physical bodies. We are much more than what we look like. We are beautiful from the inside. Let's allow our beauty from the inside shine out, because that's what true beauty is. That's what people see. When you're attracted to someone, it may be their physicality, but really, as we grow wiser and older, it really is what we are shining out from within us. That's what people are attracted to. People want to be around people who are happy, who feel positive about themselves, who have self-esteem. Now, I know with BDD, we don't have a lot of self-esteem, but this prayer and affirmation would be something that will take you on the road there. So I want to thank you all for joining. If anybody has any questions, now is the time to ask. With this prayer and affirmation, though, I'm going to ask the administrator of this page, Eddie, if he will allow me to post it so that you will have it to be able to use. So anybody have any questions? Karina, hi Karina, any questions? Okay, anybody else? All right. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I hope this was helpful. If you have any comments later, because this will be up on the page, you can review it and watch it again. So if you have any comments, you can put it there, or any questions, and I'll be happy to answer. Thank you so much for joining, and I will see you next week. Bye, everybody.